Good day. I'm here to review some of my trades. I did an SNDL put on Friday. So SNDL, pretty popular. You probably know already. Thought I got this ready. Okay, so it was pushing up in anticipation of the House vote on the legalization of marijuana. Sundial Growers is a weed company. And I noticed that the hype was dying down. The vote got passed to the House passed it to the Senate, and then the hype began to die down. So I forget, what is this called? I guess first red day or a gap down. Anyway, it gapped down here to about 60 on Friday and then pushed towards the middle of the day. I got my put somewhere in here. I noticed that it was hitting these resistance levels. It was well below all this resistance, so I had that to protect me. So it had come down quite a ways, had all this resistance to protect me, so when it popped up, I grabbed a put right in here. I grabbed an in-the-money $1 put that expires this Friday. Cheaper, safer, I guess. And then today, when it held this support level here, which I recognized as a key level from over here, and it bounced, and I was getting kind of impatient with the trade, so I took profit in here. One contract, I made $5 on it. Nothing to cry about. I took a long position on GTEC. Who knows why this was running, who really cares, but it gapped up, came back down, and I thought 8 would hold. Let me look at my transaction history and see where I got in. Okay, so right here, when 8 held and it started pushing, I took a long position. Is that right? Sorry, let's see, it happened at 10:05. Oh, I see, okay. So this looked like a double bottom to me. We were after the 9:45 window for the Bowen dip and rip, which the Bowen dip and rip says wait until the high daybreak. But I prefer the Roland Wolf style where it drags the bottom. You get a double bottom, and then it bounces and goes. So I thought this would be a double bottom when it pushed in here, and I didn't want to take the chance of not getting filled, so my limit was so high it might as well have been a market order. Obviously it wasn't. But so I got in, boom, I put my stop below, I think it was below this little tag here. Yeah, because it looks like I got out. I got in at 8:40, I got out at 8:20. So it must have been below this little tag. And my thesis was that it was a low float trading a lot of volume and that it was going to squeeze shorts. And lo and behold, it did. Just, without me. So that's all right. My thesis was good. My timing was off. Seems like the day for it. This was my this was my RIOT put. So we all know and love RIOT, the Bitcoin stock. This seems to me it's straight up action, and I mean at some point it's got to be overextended. So I saw today that it was well off of the 4 EMA, which 10 Milento uses, was right around here. It was in the the high 8s. And the stock at the time, so I should have known better. This was the third touch of the channel, and it's been really loving to break channels lately. And so it came up, it got the third touch of this general resistance area, and I think that's when I bought my first put at around 10:05. Yep. So it failed here. Boom, I was sitting pretty. I tried to take profit, but they're so damn illiquid, I couldn't get filled. It pushed, and I recognized this action. Whenever you see this little flag type thing here, I mean, at the time, this was all I saw. And I recognized it. You've got, oh, excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. You've got this, this higher low kind of trend going on, and it breaks this resistance, which tells you it's going to put in more higher lows, and then it comes to 1050 and it breaks there. And again, like if I wasn't such a guy, I would have gone long, but I really just looked at it as an opportunity to add to my short position. So when it got up about here, that's when I bought another put. And then I was thinking, you know, it'll come back down, it'll break under 1050, we'll go back to 9. And I should have known better. And it went all the way up to 11. I did not think it would break 11 very well. And this looked like a squeeze to me at the time. And it was. I mean, it was a squeeze. And then it turned around, and around here I was thinking, you know, I could add to my position, but I was already bent on the trade. I was already making dumb mistakes. And I messed it up. You know? So then it comes down, it comes back up, and here I'm saying, okay, if it breaks 11, I'm cutting. Like, if it breaks 11, who knows how high it's going to go. So fortunately, I was able to hold through this and held through this chop, and I didn't add because, again, I was still bent on the trade. I wasn't on tilt, but I knew I wasn't making good decisions and I couldn't be trusted. So even when I was right, I still wasn't allowing myself to be right, I guess. So it came back down. I'm trying to get filled in here, and I can't. And I'm trying to get filled in here, and I wasn't able to. But I mean, I could have hit the bid, but I'm more convinced that this is gonna gap down than I am that it will gap up. And that's for a couple reasons. For one, there was someone really just beating the crap out of the bid in the 1070s here. Like, they're just dumping 10,000 shares, 15,000 shares. This is comforting. I love that it's below 1050. And so someone was pounding the crap out of it here in the 1075 area. So I felt pretty comfortable with that. And there was a big battle going on in this little channel. And anyway, so then it broke down, and I was trying to debate if I wanted to like take half off for a loss, or if I wanted to just take it all off so that I could sleep better. Like, what do I want to do with this thing? And I decided to hold it, and here's why. So first of all, Bitcoin is down at support. So I'm not too worried about RIOT, which is based on Bitcoin. But here's another thing I noticed RIOT does. It spikes, it returns to support, it returns to support. It doesn't really hold its gains so much as it pushes its gains. So it'll break and it'll have a good little run. Again, like this is 5–10%. I'm kind of wasting my time paying attention to this stock while other stocks are doing things. I'll get to that in a second. So then it comes down, boom, it finds support again, which is usually like a consolidation area that served as resistance in the past. That's pretty standard. And then it'll push, and then it'll break and push. So what I'm saying is, it's not a one and done because it doesn't seem like it's ever done. Like there's a push around the corner. But it also doesn't hold its gains very well overnight. And that could be because buyers are kind of timid about what Bitcoin might do overnight. So I'm confident that this will gap down. I don't know if it's going to take out this, well, this key level here is actually 1043, yeah, 1043. So if it can get below that, that would be just dandy. I know that volume's going to thin out after the close. I think that it might pull back. I'm not in the most comfortable position, but it's not the worst position either. It does have all of this overhead resistance. If it got that far, I would be very sad. I don't. Oh, okay. So rules. I made rules because of this trade, and one of those rules that came directly from this trade is only short after an obvious short squeeze. So I got hungry when it was at the top of its resistance level. I thought that this channel would hold it. I thought it was going to come back to support. But alas, 'twas not to be. And that was kind of a crapshoot. Whereas if I had waited or even gone long, because it was, as I said, it did have that bullish signal, this bullish signal where it consolidates, comes up, boom, pops, chow. So if I had waited, if I had gone long and waited until the obvious short squeeze was done, and I took the same position size, right now I would be up $30 instead of down 26. That's not great, but if this gaps down, and what I'm saying is it gives me better odds. And so my new rule, punishable by death, is that I will not short until after a short squeeze, and that includes buying puts. So I'm not going bearish until after my bearish allies have been decimated. Another two rules that I came up with because of this trade. One, trust key levels as a stop and as a target. So this key level here held all day. And much to my dismay, it's still kind of holding now, although there was a little bit of a slipperoo. So as a target, let's see, key level going down, right, would be that even 10, obvious. Plus it's my strike price, but it's got a lot of support in this region, especially around 10, which is that whole number. So, so it's a fine target. Whereas, let's say that I got in here at the break of 1043, which was this key level from earlier. So I've got the 1043, I can say, you know, I'm going to target 11 because 11 is that big round number. So that makes it a key level. And you can see the trauma that it experienced right here at 11, near 11, and still broke it and went above it. So that was a key level that as a bull, I could have trusted. I could have trusted this break as an entry. I could have trusted this break as support here and got in if I had missed it here. And then I could have trusted the key 11 as a target. So, right, and then my other thing is only go long at the break or the bounce at key levels. So I would have had to wait for this setup or the previous 52-week high, which was 1066. Not great risk to reward that way, but when 1066 broke, I could have trusted this 1050. So just trust key levels and don't short until after a short squeeze. Those are my two new rules. Thank you, RIOT. Please gap down. Hope is not a strategy. I'm playing with money that I can afford to lose. If this fails, I accept the failure. If it succeeds, I know it was luck. This was not an ideal trade. So that's where we're at. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for watching. Oh, I wanted to say, this being in a trade where you know you're not trading well is bad for your confidence, and it takes you away from other opportunities. So it takes your mental capital. Like all of my energy today was on this one thing that wasn't going right. And it wrecked my ability to make good decisions. For example, adding to my position up here. And it robbed me of other opportunities. Let's see. There was this opportunity here. Beautiful OTC swizzle with a breakout into the close. I missed that because I was being stubborn. This here, wonderful intraday breakout here. I believe this was a multi-day breakout, and it held above the breakout level all day and then pushed into the close. So that was a beautiful opportunity. People are saying JCP and Q. I don't really regret missing this one, but I do see the potential. The yearly chart, in my opinion, looks a lot like garbage, but anything can happen. 2020, baby! So I missed this. kind of thankful I missed this, honestly. But that's neither here nor there. K and DI, man, this would have been beautiful. Someone in the chat at 10 was like, "This is a breakout," and I was like, "What's this breaking out of?" It's a potential breakout right here at 10. I could see it. Like if it had broke 10, it would have had room. Would have had some room. But I saw it as a number 6. If you're familiar with the penny stocking framework, number 6 is the bounce after the cliff dive. So there's a cliff dive, and there's a bounce. And I thought 10 would be an awesome opportunity to buy a put, but I was already putting on RIOT. So I missed that opportunity. SNDL, you know, I was kind of obsessed with this other play that I was looking at, and I don't know, maybe I would have had more patience with this trade if I wasn't in the other one. I don't think I would have got a lot more for it. Let me see what they're going for. What could I have sold it for? Expires this Friday, $1 strike. Yeah, I could have doubled what I made. And maybe I would have been more patient or more alert if I hadn't been in the other trade. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with that. Kind of glad I get to work tomorrow, but you gotta learn from your mistakes and make rules and study the craft, because it's not Call of Duty. It's more like, I don't know if you are old enough to remember old video games, but there was a video game called Might and Magic, and there was this one puzzle in that game where there's a monk, and everything that he says is spelled the same backwards as it is forward. And the password was the literary construct that describes a word that is spelled backwards the same as it is spelled forwards. So I actually, you know, a little kid in 5th grade had to go to my teacher and be like, "I know this is a thing. What's the word for it?" And it turns out that that word is palindrome. And what I'm saying is that this isn't Call of Duty. Like, you don't get the mission parameters and then take your shot and that's it. The bad guy's dead. You know, this is more like Might and Magic or the old video games where you had to go to the library to figure out how to fucking beat a level, you know? And I do like that. My modern brain doesn't like it so much. My modern brain wants the Candy Crush gains. But it's fun, it's entertaining, it keeps life interesting, and, you know, worst case scenario, I get a job and save up and try again, or get another job, I don't know. But, yeah, I'm not risking more than I can afford to lose as I learn this process, and I recognize that there's great opportunity, and I just have to harness it. So hopefully I can stop making dummy moves and start making yummy moves. Peace.